So I thought I'd do something a little different in this video. Rather than focus on a specific library or a composition, I thought it would be fun to maybe check out some composer cameos in films. Let's check that out. Danny Elfman. Known for his quirky music collaborations with Tim Burton and Pee Wee Herman, Elfman is probably the biggest influence of mine thanks to his scores from the late 80s and through the 90s. A lot of people know that Danny Elfman performed the singing role for Jack Skellington in The Nightmare Before Christmas and for Bojangles in Corpse Bride. But he has also appeared in small roles on screen, including playing Satan in his brother's 1980 film Forbidden Zone and the violinist in Sam Raimi's The Gift. Marc Shaiman. Marc is one of those composers that can easily bounce between film scores and Broadway musicals. His film range includes 1990's Misery, directed by Rob Reiner, and Billy Crystal romantic comedies like When Harry Met Sally and Mr. Saturday Night. His on-screen roles have mostly been as a piano player, most notably in the comedy Hot Shots starring Charlie Sheen and The Wedding Planner starring Matthew McConaughey. But he also appeared as the conductor in Barry Sonnenfeld's 1991 comedy The Addams Family. Michael Giacchino. Michael is known for his Pixar scores like The Incredibles and for his collaborations with J.J. Abrams like the new Star Trek trilogy and the TV show Lost. On screen, Michael has the distinction of playing the same character in two different films, the Stormtrooper F93181 in Star Wars The Force Awakens, and again in Ralph Breaks the Internet. Other roles include Deputy Crawford in J.J. Abrams' Super 8 and the Small World operator in 2015's Tomorrowland. Hans Zimmer. With over 200 composer credits on IMDb, you'd think Hans would have a few dozen film cameos by this point, but he only has 4, with the most notable being the keyboard player in The Buggles' Video Killed the Radio Star from 1979. Hans has done some pretty out-of-the-box things with his film scores, like using 12 drummers on his Man of Steel score, or adding a shepherd tone to many of his scores, which gives an auditory illusion of a constantly rising pitch. Other than appearing in the music video for Video Killed the Radio Star, his other on-screen roles have been as himself for Walmart's The Box, a series of short films featuring female directors, and the 1987 German documentary Man kann ja nie wissen, the storyline of which reads simply, "This film stars Hans Zimmer." John Williams. Arguably the greatest living composer and likely one of the greatest composers of all time, John Williams is another composer with only 2 credited on-screen cameos according to IMDb. His first acting role came way back in 1959 when he played the piano player in an episode of Johnny Staccato. Johnny Staccato was a detective drama about a jazz pianist who moonlights as a private detective. It wouldn't be until 2019, 60 years later, that Williams would have his second on-screen role, this time as Oma Trez in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.